Welcome to the Talkin' Shed podcast with your host, Adam Finnick, where we talk all things farm equipment. Tune in as we interview farmers, industry leaders, and talk about our own dealership story. Follow along as we talk about topics like cover crops, nutrient placement, and things that make your farm and every farm across the country different. You're listening to the Talkin' Shed podcast, and thank you for tuning in.
Well, guys, good morning, and this morning we have got a special guest in, super special, and we've got Cody here with us too. He's a super special guest, but we've got Dave Gunkelman here from Salford Group. Dave, how are you this morning?
I'm doing good, guys. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. It's always a good day when Dave stops in to say hi, even though it's few and far between. But we enjoy his presence. And Dave stopped in last night at the shop, and here we are this morning. I said he's in town. We have to record a podcast. Today is May 11th, and boy, are things about to break loose.
Yes, it is. It's time.
It is time. In our world, we've been waiting on this for a while. We've been selling some tillage tools. Couldn't wait to get them from the factory. We got them built. They're here, and I bet you every one of them is hooked to a tractor right now, facing the field.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I see in my travels yesterday, working my way here through Northwest Ohio and down here into Western Ohio, there's a lot of ground starting to get worked. There's a lot staged, like you said. I noticed this morning a few guys got some triticale down or some rye, that they're chopping, that
Yes.
They're ready to rip these fields up and get some corn in the ground.
Yeah. It's go time.
I know yesterday there was a couple of guys that I deal with. They're up just north in the county, and they were putting on some pre-plant yesterday as far as gas goes, and they were also running some burn down on the sprayer and doing some tillage stuff too. So it's definitely coming. I'd say today, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and then I think early next week it's supposed to rain again.
Yeah, maybe give them a little break.
Yeah.
But I saw on Snapchat there was some tillage, some Salford field cultivators running last night too. But before we get too deep, Dave, for those who don't know you on the podcast, who's Dave Gunkelman?
I've been with Salford for 12 years now, and I reside over in eastern Ohio in Wayne County. Been in the tillage business for over 20 years altogether now, and grew up on a family farm in Medina County, and Holstein dairy cows, and so I've been on all sides of the business, in the equipment side of things and the dairy nutrition side of things back in the early days, but that's kind of my background, Adam.
Yeah. Today, he's a huge asset for us on the Salford side. Of course, Salford is pretty well the largest line that we carry, I would say. We spend a lot of time on Salford, and it's beginning to be a big deal. What changed with Salford recently? I saw some news.
We here at the end of this quarter, we're going to be taking over. Ownership is changing. We got bought out by a company that actually owns MacDon. And so we're going to be a sister company to them, but it sounds like everything's going to continue to roll how everything's been, here in the last 10 years. Nothing's changed that way. So we're just going to continue to grow and have some more resources as a company, whether it's buying iron or just having resources for marketing and lots of different things like that. So it's a pretty exciting time for us,
right,
as we grow.
Right. You never know how things are going to happen when a company gets bought out, but I don't see anything changing there. Granted, even if something was, I wouldn't be able to see it from my seat in the ballpark, but I don't foresee anything changing. Most of these companies that everyone deals with are today probably owned by investors, and their goal is to make quality products that generate revenue, and I don't think they're changing hands to make big changes.
No.
I think that the past owners were just ready to cash out,
Yep.
and there were some new owners wanting to invest.
Absolutely. They've seen a great opportunity with a great company that has grown a lot over the last, 10 years and been very profitable and, building a lot of leading edge products. And we have a lot of them continuing to come to the market. So it's a really exciting time. You won't see, any change here on the local level. Might not even see much on my end, but it's an exciting time for us, and it's full bore ahead.
Right. Well, that's awesome and exciting to hear. Right before we started the podcast, we were waiting on Cody to wake up and get here this morning.
Of course.
But we were talking about what kind of tools we had ordered and coming in. Why don't you run down some of the tools, because it just gets me excited hearing them, that we have coming in that we ordered here for basically fall, because we'll see them in July.
Absolutely. So we got everything from the least aggressive types of vertical tillage tools to the most aggressive tools. So, we got 1200s, 2200s, 4200s, 5200s. We got two-piece S-tine and C-shank cultivators.
Yeah.
We got some 41 and foot tools coming.
Yeah.
The couple new, 20 and 30 foot, Salford Halo VRTs.
Yep.
Which has become a hot topic since the Louisville Farm Show. And you've been doing some demos, and
Yes.
that thing is just getting a lot of attention.
Right.
So between that, and we even have some more spreaders in the pipeline. There's a lot of equipment to continue feeding in here all through the summer.
Right. Yeah. When, we saw an opportunity, and Dad always says that you got to have faith in your sales team. And we saw an opportunity, and we knew we had to have equipment to sell. And so I don't know when we ordered all that stuff, probably November, December.
We've been ordering, all along. Seems like every month we're placing orders to continue, just keeping the pipeline full. Because
Right.
the only way that we're going to be able to continue to grow in times like this is to keep the pipeline full.
Right.
If you wait until you're sold out and then you reorder, if it takes 3 to 6 months or even longer for some brands that I'm hearing about, how do you grow your numbers?
Right.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where, like you were saying, just keep the pipeline full, and as long as you have faith in your sales team, that you can grow and let it fly.
Yep.
Yeah. So, we've never really stocked a 41-foot 1200. That's going to be exciting.
Yep.
Some of these tools are the top of the line tools that over the last 5 years we have seen a lot of demand in. We've watched them run in the field, and we grab the bull by the horns, and we're going to have a lot full of ready equipment. Mm-hmm. And it's going to take a lot of time just to assemble all this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know when we're going to get all that done.
Right.
So,
Well, it's going to be good fill-in jobs for this summer if you do get downtime in the shop. I don't see that happening around here. There's lots of projects going on.
Pretty sure our shop guys are going to be sick of building Salford tools by the time.
That's why I brought them. That's why I brought all them guys breakfast sandwiches this morning, because I got to keep them on my good side.
yeah, well, most of them aren't going to be here. They're all farming today.
Yeah, I know it.
So that is one of the tricks about us, is a lot of our shop guys farm. And so today, I think at least 3 of them are out. And
Yeah.
that's 2/3 of the shop.
Yeah.
So
There'll be 2 guys in the shop today.
Right.
That'll be it.
right. So that'll stay interesting. But you touched on it, Dave. Let's hit on that VRT. I know we've talked about it a little bit. I'm sure some guys have heard about it. But all along I was saying, I like what it does, but I want to see how it works in the spring. Mm-hmm. And that was my dilemma. And of course we did the demo days in Michigan. We did some demoing here. And then probably later today, I'm going to watch it run down south a little bit too. So walk us through, what are your thoughts on that VRT?
Well, I just can't believe you doubted me in the first place what this thing would do in the spring. But other than that, I'm very impressed. I for the last 2 seasons was prototyping the machine for the company, and this final product that we came to the market with here at the Louisville Farm Show, and now that we have here in the field here in Ohio, Indiana, and Michigan, seeing lots of great spring results. It's giving us the opportunity to use one tool to go into any condition.
Right.
You know, any type of application, you know. So, I mean, had the perfect scenario the other day with a guy that, you know, he had some really heavy, it was a cover crop plus lots of residue from last fall. And it was one of those things where he's like, I want to get rid of a lot of that. So we ran it really aggressive, you know, in the first pass, and then just came right back at it at a light angle or shallow degree, however you want to explain it. But
Right.
I mean, and made a finishing pass, and it's a beautiful seed bed with one tool.
Yeah.
In other situations, you know, some guys just want to use it as a fall tool or a springtime seedbed prep tool, like their 1200 or 2200, you know, Salford. So, and that works really well too. So, I mean, having the broad range of applications it can be used in, that's what's exciting.
Yeah. And I've had several phone calls on it from the YouTube videos and stuff we did in Michigan. I had a guy call from Minnesota yesterday. You know, I told him, I said, you can go to a field and have no idea how you're going to work that field. And just get there and set the tool until you get the finish that you want.
Absolutely.
You know, when you go to the field today with a field cultivator, you're limited to what you can see and what you can do. You go to the field with a VRT, and you might think you're going there just to scratch the ground, and you get there and it's dry. And you're like, man, I need to get more aggressive.
Yep.
Well, do it.
Exactly.
And you can adjust it.
Beautiful.
And, you know, I told him, I said, what tillage do you have today? He said, I've got a disc with a rolling basket and a field cultivator. I said, you would eliminate both of those.
Absolutely.
You know?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So we're not talking a tool that sits next to a field cultivator or something
Right.
else.
Yeah, it don't work in. It don't need to work in tandem with any other tool.
No, we're talking a tool that doesn't take up much space in your shed either.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. We've got a long list of guys we need a demo to here starting today through the weekend.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. I demoed to some guys in Marion, Ohio there probably 2 weeks ago, and they were pretty dang impressed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were very impressed. So it's just fun to be able to bring that tool to a farm, and you know inside you're like, just wait until we blow this guy's mind.
Absolutely.
Like you want a video in the cab almost to watch
Yeah.
him.
Oh yeah.
Like that's the best feeling in the world. Whenever you tell a guy what this thing's going to do, and he goes and sees it, and he's like, "Oh!"
And it does it.
Yeah, he's like, "Holy cow!" Like how?
Yeah. You can't
Yeah.
oversell it.
No.
That's the beauty
No,
of this.
yeah.
That's why I'm excited. You know, that's why we put a lot of testing into this product. You know, throughout the, Midwest. You know,
Yeah.
through the Corn Belt. Other areas, Western Canada, you know, I mean, we've ran it so many different places and so many different soil types because we want to do this one time. You know, I wanted it to be released a year sooner, but we just weren't quite there. You know, the high-speed disc, we had that figured out, which everybody does pretty much. I mean, It's
Right.
just what color you want, but
Right.
but this thing, what it can do with just a flip of the hydraulic lever is
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an opportunity, you know, it's going to fit in just so many areas in our market. I mean, it's going to be
Yeah.
unlimited.
And I've only ever seen it ran really one time, and we were out back here, and it was probably a little too wet. But I mean, just from watching just my visual of watching it do what it does. I mean, there's definitely no tool out there like it.
Well, when we did the field day up in Michigan a couple weeks ago, Adam, I took you did some drone video. I was in the cab, and I've had a lot of feedback since then from inside our company and customers calling me. I hear from somebody on a daily basis wants to try this thing.
Yeah.
Because maybe they've seen your YouTube video or your press release, type things. And but where we took it from we were running it at a 15-degree angle, making it black, and that 250 bushel corn stalks or whatever it was heavy irrigated corn last fall. And then we took it down to the least aggressive. We're making that pass through the field, and that just blew people's minds. Like, you gotta be kidding me.
Right.
Yeah.
You can just see it go from aggressive to a minimal till, And just to give you that idea, I mean, it's mind blowing.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, we're going to have plenty more videos out this week on that tool. I heard you and Dad kind of talking about it yesterday afternoon, you know, about how Salford is geared to like no-tillers and you've got the high fuel prices, and you know, today corn's around $7.50-ish on the board, you know, diesel's at record prices. How does this just fall in high fertilizer prices? How does this all just fall into the lap of Salford?
Well, with the, you know, fuel prices basically doubling, and not only fuel, but just basically all your inputs, but the passes, we would pride ourselves on the vertical tillage, you know, that we've had out for a lot of years. And, you know, it kind of, as the crops become more, you know, higher yielding and tougher residue, you know, we kind of got outclassed there for a little while from our old 570, you know, 7-inch spacing machine. You know, and then when we got into the 5-inch machines, you know, I mean, we have machines now that you can just go out there and do minimum tillage. You make a seed bed, burn less fuel, you know, and plant. So, I mean, we just have we have a complete lineup of tools for you to make less passes and save you time and money.
Right. And, you know, when I talk to farmers, they talk to me about their frustrations and what they're trying to fix. And a lot of times it's efficiency is what they want to get after. You know, I sold that 1224 there last week up in Lipsick, Ohio. And what they were doing was they had a John Deere 235 disc with a rolling basket. They would hit it once in the fall and once in the spring, sometimes twice in the spring. What they're going to move towards in a program I've seen a lot is one pass in the spring.
Correct.
And that's what the 1200 can do.
Yep.
You know, and we did that with several other people too. Bachmans are down there, one of them. They did a lot of tillage in the past, and they're moving to they have a 1224, and they're moving to a lot of more just spring tillage.
Right.
You know, instead of working it, burying all that stuff in the fall, and then working it 2 or 3 times.
Right.
You know, if you think about it, today is May 11th. There's a lot of guys who have to make 3 passes of tillage yet before they can put seed in the ground. And look at this window. Cody said it may rain Monday, Tuesday. You know, if I'm a farmer, I want to be putting seed in the ground.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, you want to be putting seed in the ground, but as you, on these 80 plus degree days and the wind blowing, every time you open that ground up, it's going to continue, you're going to dry it out.
Right.
So what happens if you dry it out, plant, and it don't rain right away?
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of the vertical till or the VRT on a light angle. I mean, you just running it basically the depth you're going to plant. Keep that don't get rid of all that moisture below where you're going to plant the seed.
Right.
Yes.
So you get to germinate and come out of the ground fast.
Yes. It's it's kind of an insurance policy in a way, you know. But you know, if I'm a farmer today is Wednesday the 11th. You know, I've got a 4 to 5 day window with 0% chance of rain. I'm going to do some field work, haul some manure maybe today, do some spraying. But I mean, by Friday, Saturday, we need to get some seed in the ground. Yeah. And if you're going to spend a lot of that time just doing tillage just to get your fields fit, I think we need to look at some planter options to make your planter more versatile. And we need to look at some tillage options. What can we change there to get you planting today or tomorrow rather than working ground for 3 days? And that's where Salford comes in for me.
Yeah.
Well, and not only with the tillage line of products, I mean, I was just looking at some YouTube video this morning that you put out there on strip till.
Right.
Well, what a great, fast, efficient way to get your fertilizer down, get your strips built.
Yeah.
In a beautiful cornfield with no tillage other than your strip till bar and your ST10.
Right.
You know, fertilizer.
Yep.
You know, getting everything in one pass.
Right.
That's another way to do it.
Yep.
and that deal is just exploding.
Yeah.
You know, and what that is vertical. That's Salford vertical tillage honed down to a 14-inch strip.
Yep.
Is exactly what that is.
Exactly.
And you know, he's talking about shocks up there in Bucyrus.
yeah.
You know, you flew the drone on it, but we were in heavy corn residue up there.
Yeah, it was.
And the row cleaners were just moving the trash, working the dirt. We were only going, you know, probably 3 inches deep.
Right.
And it was just beautiful. They're going to plant right into that. And we left there that day at probably 9:30, 10. And I texted them later that afternoon, and they had cleared that 200-acre field before I had texted him back.
Yeah.
I mean, just rolling.
Yep.
You know
There's
what I mean?
just so many ways to become efficient like that, you know, and utilize, you know, getting your fertilizer in that same pass. You know, there's just so many things now that guys are starting to trend towards. And that's where, like you said, things kind of playing into our lap, you know, because we've always geared our focus towards making farmers become more efficient.
Right.
Not selling the, you know, cookie cutter, big box store type products. We have always invented, you know, tools that would make guys more efficient and faster.
A lot of your tools are different, and some people are afraid of that, but they're different because there is a different way. You know, you don't have to always pull that disc or the 7-inch wide field cultivator all the time.
Yeah.
You can look at the Halo VRT or the Halo Airway or the 2200 with some shanks, hydraulic shanks.
Yep.
You know, look at how different that tool is. But look what it can do for you.
Absolutely.
Right.
The guys that see the value, you know, once they step out of that comfort zone, they wonder why they didn't do it sooner.
Yeah,
You know, there's
sooner.
lots of guys still doing tillage today, like, well, they're doing it this way because that's how Dad did it.
Right. They've never known any other way.
No, and it's just it's hard to change when you
Right.
feel like, because you've been successful, you've been farming for 50 years that way and making money.
Right.
So why change?
Exactly.
Well, we're at a time now where we're getting forced to change. You
Right.
know, unfortunately.
Right.
with all these government regulations, with everything as far as manure aspect goes, and watershed, and
Well, it's the fuel and the uncertainty as well.
Right.
yeah,
Fuel and fertilizer.
yeah,
Because, you know, everyone talked about, oh, I locked in fertilizer before it got high last year. Well, it's high right now.
So now what are you gonna do?
Yeah, so everyone, you know, everyone locked in last year, July, August, September, a lot of times. What's it going to look like this year? You know, and what happens when we lock in at that high fertilizer price, and then corn maybe takes a dip? But that's where you got to hone, you got to become efficient and do more with less.
Right.
And that's, in my opinion, not only what we strive for here at Fennec Equipment, but it's a big part of Salford. You know, if I'm, like I said, if I'm farming today, I'd want to be extremely efficient, make maybe a tillage pass, but then get that planter rolling.
Right. Yeah. We you know, we're creating solutions, you know, for the farmer. And that's what we pride ourselves on, and that's why we're doing these demos to show on the farm what we can do. Because if you can get rid of, you know, these guys here gladly take 2 pieces of tillage equipment on trade on one, you know, just because there's a market for used, and also, you know, it's going to become more profitable for the farmer in the end game that way too. So I mean, it's just give us that opportunity to show you.
Right. And of course, you know, that's really not even bringing the ST10 cart. Sure, we just lightly touched on it, but then the BBI spreaders. You know, you want to talk about efficiency, you can eat some serious acres slinging fertilizer at 80 feet wide.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you've got 1,000 acres of fertilizer to spread, that's nothing with a BBI.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so that's another thing I realized. You know, we had the end of winter, we had like 15 spreaders here between your 2 stores, and all of a sudden we were down to none. We were down to 1. Now we just got a couple loads in, which is great, perfect timing. We still have another 3 or 4 on order. We got to look at more for fall. But one thing I did notice in the lineup, with the calls I've been getting here lately, I wish we had some single axle.
I know.
Because, you know, I'm starting to hear more and more guys just about what we talked about, the efficiency. wanting to get across acres faster. Maybe they can't find an applicator. I know you guys have been selling a lot of applicators for side dress, even putting cover crop boxes on a couple out here I see, so guys can kill two birds with one stone.
That thing looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, but there's lots of guys wanting to sling urea on post corn, that way too. So I mean, that's something I've been getting a lot of calls on here recently too. We need to look at. There's just things are changing. This is forcing guys to change their operations.
Right.
And we have lots of equipment to offer as well that way, like you said, with not only with the Pathfinder carts and the STs, but the single axle spreaders. Then we can sling fertilizer up to 120 feet.
Right. The with the territory that you cover, I always like asking you what you're seeing out there. What are the other dealers doing? What are they selling that we're not? And it gives me a good gauge of when to move and how fast. But what are you seeing? Like you said, things are changing. How have things changed for you, for the farmer, that you've seen recently?
We're still seeing a lot of change that you're even seeing here. I mean, it's becoming more and more discussion about how can we make less passes. And my dealers that have trended towards the I-Series tools, with the minimal till, or this VRT is really opening up a lot of doors in areas that I have not been able to be in, because so many guys, are doing such aggressive tillage in areas, and where we weren't selling some vertical till, this is giving us the opportunity to get in, because this tool will do everything in between.
Right.
But we're starting to see a lot more, like I said, with the single axle spreaders, guys wanting to change applications that way, or give them more window of opportunity to get the product on, because you got so much time right now, but yet you want to plant, so that's what we're seeing. We're just seeing so many different things, and we're looking at, in the single axle especially, getting something that has multi-product capabilities. That's the next step. It's on the drawing board, and who knows, it could be in the field right now with us. I don't know, because I'm not on that part of it, but those are things we're just constantly trying to get better. So, but we get lots of good ideas from the farmer themselves. So that's where a lot of these ideas come from.
Right. Yeah, and we're seeing the same thing. But I'm real excited with the lineup of tools that we have coming. I'm excited about the sales force that we have. And last year we had a banner year with Salford, and I think this year we can maybe even beat it.
We will. We're going to have to.
Yeah.
I'll have to fire you.
Well, yeah, because we've got enough tillage tools ordered that if they're all here at one time, we're going to have more gravel out there.
I know it. We already had to expand a lot.
We're
twice.
looking a little bare out there right now.
Well, right now we are, but we're going to shove a lot of this stuff out to Nova.
Yeah.
Right.
And
because I was there, would have been Monday.
Okay.
That lot a month ago was full.
I know.
That lot today, empty.
I know.
It's crazy.
I know.
So things are moving fast.
It's amazing what Seth and Tammy and Jake are moving and shaking out there.
Done a really good job in northern Ashland County area.
Oh, the amount of people that have been there that I talked to, that are grateful that we have a location there. And then we were talking this morning, the addition of other lines such as the Hardy sprayer. Yeah. I think that deal's going to be huge for us, the Hardy sprayer. You helped some guys yesterday with parts.
Yeah, I mean, it just opens up a door for us to where we are able to just get that smaller sprayer type guy market, and
and we're already so entrenched into application.
Yeah, right. It just fits right in. I mean, even whenever we were doing that seminar there a few weeks ago, I mean, it all was falling into place. Like, he was talking about how they control the sprayer. I'm like, okay, that's their rate controller, and that's their flow meter.
Yep.
It just all fell into place. So I think it's going to be a really good asset for Fennec equipment for us to sell and utilize.
Well, and that's kind of like us. We've become such a huge, went from being a tillage company back in the day when I started to, I still sell a ton of tillage on my market, but I mean, I saw a lot of we've become such a big application company that way.
Yeah. And you gotta be.
Yeah, absolutely. But just like, when I pulled in here yesterday and I sent, I went out on a lot and I'm like, I took, must have been 6 or 7 different applications for cover crops, that projects you're working on out here. I took a picture of every one of them, sent them to my counterparts, and they're all asking questions because that's a good idea. They didn't think of that. So, but I was just amazed, and that's our next season we're going into.
Yeah.
Even before we're planting corn.
Yeah.
Right.
We're already, guys, you're selling cover crop seeders on a daily basis around here, but just seeing the applications from guys having them on their Haggies to inner row, whether they're just, side dress, if they're side dressing their corn, putting out in the cover crop at the same time. There's just so many different things I've seen out here that's pretty exciting, and that's something I'm sure we'll do a podcast on or a video on here at some point after spring planting, because it's time. You got to keep these, whether you're going to put the cover crop on, when you're side dressing to get a head start, because we're finding there's more and more guys that's the only way they can get it on.
Right.
Because they don't have time in the fall.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You think about it, that little S2S unit that we make, we probably have to have close to 150 rows of them things out running now. I mean,
pretty
we're getting up there.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. That thing just grows every year. So, do you think we need to have a field day this year? We always talk about it.
Yeah, it's been a couple years since we really had one, but I think, definitely if we can find the right time, because there's so many different things we'll want to showcase, from tillage to application. I mean, there's just finding the right time and place. Yes, guys will come, but we've proved too that with the drone,
I know,
can make some damn good videos
yeah.
That's our farm show today.
I know.
That's our field day. And we could touch so many more people.
I know.
But if guys want to come out and see us actually do it, let's invite them out.
I know.
Let's feed them. Let's get together. But still, we can reach so many people with the technology you have today with social media and the drone. It's made such a huge difference.
I know. It's,
Maybe talk about possibly rolling it all in one, where we drone half that stuff whenever we demo it while the guys are here. I mean,
Yeah, but we're going to go drone stuff this week.
Right.
And even today. But it's a ton of work to get the field days going. And then it's just such a anxiety attack. Like, is anyone going to show up?
And not only that, it's just the time and money we got put in it, and try and get everybody here that day.
Right.
Everybody has lives. How many trips they got to make across their field spraying, in the summer. So, I mean, it's just such a hard thing to do. But that's why, the drone investment was the greatest thing, because as you're doing your spring demos, summer demos, fall demos, whatever it is, you take that video, we can send a guy whatever he wants when you get a call.
Right.
I've called you how many times? Hey, do you have a picture of this? Do you have a video of this? Because I got a guy in Michigan that wants to see this run, and he can't get to anywhere to see it. So, I mean, to me, that's still the best way today to get the word across.
Well, social media. I mean, think about it. We're sitting here in this room. We're the only 3 people in this room right now.
Yep.
But we're going to have how many hundreds of listeners to it, because we're recording it and putting it on the World Wide Web. Well, those videos are pretty well the same thing. We have 1,400 subscribers on YouTube now, and so when we throw a video out there, within 3 days we have about 300 views on it.
Right.
So, that's the question, and we know YouTube works because we get the calls in here.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I think the serious guys filter themselves out and they call in and they want to come watch one, and they show up, and then we sell them one. They get one on their farm, or we demo. So, but there's nothing. You cannot put a price on the guy who comes to watch a BBI spreader spread, sees a Salford 2-piece S-tine run, and is just blown away.
Yep.
That's the thing. When they show up, they don't even know they're interested
Yep.
until they see it run.
Well, and it's funny because it's been about 4 or 5 years ago out here. We did a field day in the summer, wheat stubble.
Yep.
And I think that was about the first time we did strip till with an ST.
Yeah.
ST6 and a Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Well, you advertised this. We had boys from South Alabama come up here just to see that run.
Right.
And I think you sold them a strip till bar and maybe an ST. I don't remember. But the point is, guys travel.
Yeah.
Because they can't
that.
see. There's guys that will come that they can never see this equipment.
Right.
They don't have the dealers where they're at, just don't handle it, just don't do it, or they're getting into something leading edge. And so, yeah, it does. I think it just gives us a lot, further outreach for those opportunities when you do a field day, because guys want to touch and feel it.
Oh, yeah.
So is it worth it? Yes. But, we still get a lot of value out of the other ways of doing it. But if we want to capture 100% of everything, we still need to do a field day.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, how about you plan it for us and we'll just show up and talk, and I'll drive a tractor.
Yep. We'll just sit in tractors. And
Just as long as we don't have to do it at 3 a.m. like we're doing this podcast, because we're so busy, we just...
Yeah, no one knows what time it is, do they?
I got to get to work, so,
I know.
it's, we got to do it early in the morning, but you guys are busy. I can't believe what you guys have on slate. Just today alone on May 11th. It's crazy.
Yeah, I just don't even think about it anymore.
Well, there's not enough hours.
Yeah.
Not enough people. I
No.
mean, because all of a sudden we're forced to... We have a short window here to get things done.
Yeah.
There's lots of guys that want to demo some equipment, but there will not be the time this spring, whether
Right.
it's on their end or our end.
just won't happen.
Just limited. But that's where the videos are great you're getting this week, because we'll still continue to sell from those videos.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, I think you do have a BBI spreader to get up and running yet today. So this is one of the shorter podcasts, but like you said, we all have stuff to do. I think we're going to cut it off and get out, roll, get on with the day.
Yeah.
It's creeping up on sunrise here, and it's going to be time to get rolling. But
Thanks for having me, guys. It's been good. Had a good night with Mom and Dad last night.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you
I'm a
guys
little
went up
groggy
to,
this morning, but
yeah, you guys went up to Boardwalk,
yeah, went up to the boardwalk where you had your
Salford meeting.
Salford meeting this winter.
Yeah.
And man, such good food, and
Oh, yeah.
it's great this time of year with the sun shining on the lake, and the blue water out there. So
Yeah.
it's definitely we'll have to do that again.
Yeah, yeah. You can invite me next time if you want.
Yeah,
but,
We can do that.
No, that's fine. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks, Dave, for your time.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll see you next time.
Yep. See ya.